What it do, Big Blue? It is the Big Blue Prophet. We are starting off 2026 with a bang. And you do know K Money. And
Yes,
you
sir.
might also be like, who's that guy? And is Rick Remote. And
Yeah.
why are you here? Why are you here today?
Okay, first off, you're not gonna have Bacon Shake and then not come visit the hottest show on YouTube under Bacon. Honestly, I want some of the secret sauce. I want to know how you guys are getting all these clicks and views. Okay, but also I was thinking that maybe I bring you guys a fellow Wildcat to talk about and have a nice little play date.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? So I got my guy Austin here tonight, who seems equally as knowledgeable about that UK blue. So Austin, welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, thank you all for having me. I'll take that term equally as a maybe, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll figure it out. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, this is not my show, sir, and also I have little knowledge other than maybe Walter McCarty's R&B albums about UK. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get up on out of here, but I wish you boys nothing but luck, and you might possibly see our other co-owner Topher pop in later on. You never know. But boys, have fun. Love your show. You guys are killing it. Absolutely doing a great job. UK, love it. Austin, thank you for joining us. All right, boys.
Yes, sir.
Later,
All right,
buddy.
Rick. Appreciate you, brother. All right.
So I guess we'll just kind of first off, everybody have a good New Year's, right? Everybody have a good one. Anybody stay up and watch the ball drop?
I did not watch a second of anything on TV. Actually, and this is kind of funny. Me and my wife went out and just picked a random restaurant in Lexington, and I'm assuming it was like last second, so it was like the only thing that was available. I think that I had the worst food I've ever put in my mouth last night. I'm not kidding you. We left, we ordered the food, took one bite, and I said, no, sorry. I can't do that. Didn't pay for it, left, got takeout, went home, watched Stranger Things.
Nice. All right, there you go.
Seems like a
There
good
you go.
night, really. Besides the bad
It was a
food.
good night after we got home.
Yeah.
Could,
That's good.
Could you throw me the restaurant name so I know not to go there when I go to Lex next?
I don't even know. It was in a hotel, and it was a very ritzy area, which you would assume the restaurant would at least be decent, right? No, it was the exact opposite. But I couldn't even tell you the name of the restaurant.
I wonder if it was because it was New Year's Eve and people were trying to get home and party. I don't know.
I couldn't even tell you, but it just looks like it was funny because everyone around us, it looked like they were having a great time, like a good food. And we were just like set up, like, is this a joke? I'm not kidding you. We got a filet plate with mashed potatoes, yada yada. You expect something like decently grand, right?
Yeah.
The mashed potatoes looked like they were straight out of the microwave. And immediately we saw it and tasted it. So yeah, that was a no-go.
Yeah,
that's brutal.
Yeah, I'd have got up and left too. I ain't even. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's a tough way to end the year for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Good Lord. Well, let's jump into the. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, look, man, I stayed up. I didn't watch much of like the Dick Clark's Rockin' Eve, all that crap. I watched like the last 30 seconds just to see the ball drop. Oldest daughter was sleeping. She didn't want to wake up, so it was just me and the wife and her boyfriend. Not the wife's boyfriend, the oldest daughter. I knew that came off weird. I know that came off weird. I just caught myself. I was like, wait a minute. That shit came off very weird. So it wasn't me and the wife's boyfriend.
Can we break that down a little bit?
Right? I was like, damn, that came off bad. But yeah, it was the wife's boy, or now I'm screwing up. See, it was the daughter's boyfriend, the wife, and myself while the daughter slept. We watched our normal shit, and then today watching college football, and I'm sure we'll get into it in a little bit. But it was great seeing Alabama lose. And then look, I don't know what you guys do on New Year's Day in Pennsylvania. It's a staple for us to have pork and sauerkraut on New Year's Day. It's a statement of good luck. Pennsylvania Dutch kind of tradition up here where I live. So every year we have pork and sauerkraut. A lot of people don't like that. It's a little weird, but I love it. I put some kibasi in it, you know what I mean? Like a little smoked sausage, so it's still pork. But have pork sausage, get some good luck for the new year. So hoping that, I had a couple platefuls, hoping that I can bring some good luck to our Wildcats coming into SEC play, because it's been a rough one so far this year. Expectations have not been hit. Yeah, for
It's
sure.
been a little rough. I think that's like the easiest way to say it, right? I feel like rough is like it's some of the games that make you almost not want to be. I don't even want to say it, but
A fan. Say it.
yeah, like yeah,
Say it. Tell it
you don't
like
want
it
to be a
is.
fan. Yeah, you don't want to be a fan at all. Like it's rough, and I I don't know about y'all, but I mean the last couple games seems like we're finding a way. At least with JQ coming back, I feel like it is.
There's a path.
Yeah,
There's definitely a path.
and I like it. I like the path we're on if we could keep on it. But we've
That's the
talked about it
question.
before. Yeah, we've talked about it before, but like the subbing, if he could get that, I feel like in line, we might have a good chance. But
Yeah.
I think that's a major issue.
I mean, the non-conference schedule was tough. It was a tough stretch. It was a tough 2 to 3 week stretch there, right? I liked what I saw against St. John's, but then you follow it up a couple days before Christmas against Bella Marine, and you like, how does that happen? Like, you put on a defensive clinic against St. John's, and then you come out and you forgot how to play defense basically against a subpar team, and I don't understand that, right? Like, and that's where I find it hard, right? And also, I want to get your take, because like
Sure.
the lack of defensive consistency so far in
Yes.
non-conference play is where we're
Sure.
struggling.
Yeah. I think and you look at the difference between that St. John's game and Bellarmine. Number one, Patino he runs his offense honestly a lot like Cal. It's very, drive and go, get it to the bigs, go down low. They don't do a whole lot of backdoor cutting. They don't do a whole lot of two-man action screening and rescreening. Bellarmine backdoored the shit out of Kentucky that day. And it was evident that Pope did not know how to prepare defensively in that game, and they lucked out. Cam Williams hit 8 threes. Otherwise, that would have been a 5, 6, 7-point game at the end of the game. So I would call that, and I hate to say it, but that's out coaching. That's getting out coached. Simply getting out coached. You can't tell me that we don't have the pieces to defend well. Quaintance, why did he only play 7 minutes? Did y'all hear anything about that? He played 7 minutes in that game.
I couldn't
Haven't heard
find
anything.
anything. I could not find anything to even remotely show why that made sense.
It's I don't understand. It makes 0 sense. But overall, it was a lack of preparation and just not knowing how to prep for that offense on Pope's end. And
Yeah.
it's as simple as that.
And I think sometimes, honestly, some of it, I think that when things like that happen, it makes me feel like he just thinks that we're going to come out there and run all over him. And then when they start doing what they're doing, he's just completely lost and does not know how to coach on a fly in a way. You know what I mean? Like he does not know how to just stop and be like, hey, okay, this ain't working. So let's draw it up this. Like it's either this play or we're screwed. And you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, and that's tough. That's tough for a coach to do, and there's very few coaches that can excel at that skill on a consistent basis. But all Bellarmine was doing, they were going 5 out. They were saying, "Hey, let's pull the bigs out from the rim. Let's go 5 out, dish, handoff, backdoor, repetitively." And you saw our guys were scrambling the whole time. And one of the biggest problems is they tried to switch every little screen, every little handoff, and they're over switching, I think. And it seems like it's just too much for our guys to handle at the same time. And that's why they're scrambling so much. They're lost. And that's why you see these defensive breakdowns and wide open layups, wide open threes, and they're getting rhythm shots. That's basketball, man.
Yep.
Got to adjust.
I'm with you. So I'm with you, and I honestly think that we're like the team is physical. They're a physical enough team that, like, and they're athletic enough. fight through those screens and have have faith in your defense on that. You know what I mean? Like have that confidence because and Cody and I have brought this up all year. You can't like our consistently like bad shooting luckily did not come into play against 2 days before Christmas, right? Because you can't rely on Cam to shoot 8 3 or make 8 threes every single game. That's not gonna happen.
No.
That's the first time all year where it's been like that consistent. So, is it gonna happen in SEC play where they're gonna crack 100? Sure, it's gonna happen a game or two, but it's not gonna happen consistently. So you got to rely on that defense. You got to fight through those screens, and Pope has to be able to adjust on the fly and make those adjustments in game, right? And we say it all the time in football, right? You make a halftime adjustment, make a halftime adjustment. Well, he calls timeout and then nothing happens. So like you waste a timeout, I feel like, because it's not like nothing changed, like they're not fighting through screens, like you said, man. I think backdoor cuts and those if there was a way to quantify the points, they probably had 20 to 24 points just on those types of plays alone. You know what I
Every
mean?
bit
And
of it.
we
Every bit of it.
and we couldn't do anything about it. They made no adjustments. So, it was to your point, they kept switching and everybody looked lost out there on defense. And it was
Mhm.
complete 180 compared to what we saw from St. John's game. You know what I mean? Like St. John's, it was a clinic. Like they looked extremely focused and like what you brought up, man, our big men in inside, like that's the nuts and bolts of our defense, right? We're physical, we don't allow people in the lane. So they were just like, screw it, we're not gonna go in the lane then. We're gonna kick it out and then we're gonna cut and then we're gonna make you not know where we're going. And that was what was successful. And hopefully the SEC teams, once we get into conference play, aren't watching that film. Otherwise, we're gonna get eaten alive. Eaten
Oh,
alive.
they're
Yeah.
watching it. Oh, they're watching it. And I guarantee you, who's watched it at least maybe 10 times today. Coach Nate Oates, who we play
Yep.
in about
2
24
days.
hours or yeah, 2
Yeah.
days. We play them in 36 hours. Guarantee you he's watched it over and over again.
Absolutely. And I think this will set the stand. Like, you know, if we come out and just look lost, it'll just be able to have the next SEC teams be able to be like, okay, so this is all we got to do. If we pressure them this way at the start of the game, they'll crumble, and we ain't got to worry about them for the rest of. You know what I mean? And that's what really sucks. You can't. They could watch the St. John's tape and try to prepare, but like y'all, it's not consistent. What that was one game, one game, and our big man didn't even play 10 minutes last game. How are you supposed to get him ready for SEC play? And you like that would have been the perfect game to play him as much as you could. You just
Yes.
let it go. Let it go. Let him play as much as he can until he says, I'm tired.
Yeah,
Get him back
knowing
into
you have
shape.
10 days off. You have 10 days
100%.
off,
Yes.
right? You got 10 days off, let
Absolutely.
him rest. Right.
That's a great point. I said that going into the game. Let him play. Just
Yes.
let's get the rust off. Just, that was the game to experiment a little bit with him.
Yep.
7
Agree.
minutes. Why even play? You might as well not even.
Yeah, and you noticed, like you saw in the St. John's game, how much of a difference maker he was when he was on the court. Like he was a focal point defensively, right?
Immediate.
He was the immediate presence and everything like that. So, take that into consideration. Like maybe that was the whole game plan of Bellamari. Like, you know what I mean? Like they were trying to make sure that their game plan was if JQ was in there, this is what we were going to do, and then he wasn't. So they found extreme success when he wasn't in the game, But I don't understand why they didn't play him. I could understand if like he wasn't given effort or anything like that, but the dude was a straight menace against St. John's. So like I don't understand. It's not like he didn't practice well. I don't know. I don't know. That's the stuff that he could come out and say that he was saving him for SEC play, but we all just said the same thing, and I'm sure we're not the only fan.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There's no way. There's no way. That no. And not to harp on it, but I said it, I don't know, probably 20 times during the game. Why ain't he? This, like I just said, that is the perfect game. The perfect game. We missed our opportunity right there to get him into any type of rhythm with the rest of the team. Now we're gonna have to try to do it on the fly against SEC teams.
Yeah.
That's not
Yep.
gonna happen. That's not
Yep.
gonna happen. They're gonna catch us and it'll just fall apart. Somebody will be on a hot streak, and here comes Pope, and he'll sub them out. He'll sub whoever's hot out, and then we're screwed.
Well, Austin, you
We're
just said
screwed.
it. I mean, you said Nate Oates was looking at the game tape. I'm sure he was looking at the game tape from St. John's as well and seeing what JQ was doing against St. John's. So he's already game planning, thinking that he's going to play against them.
Oh, yeah. Well, the biggest difference is in St. John's, they don't play like an SEC. Modern era SEC play is fast paced, run and gun style, shooters ready to shoot.
Yep.
Alabama has been a staple of that style of play. They're averaging 95 points a game this year.
Mm-hmm.
And so I tell you 95 points a game. Do y'all think that's first in the SEC?
No, I don't. No.
Yeah, you're right. It's not. They are third in scoring in the SEC right now. Kentucky's 11th.
God.
And 85 points a game, and a tough 85 at that.
Very tough.
That's a lucky night. That's a lucky night.
Yeah, very tough. Because the only times that we've exceeded that were against subpar teams. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah.
That's
100%.
That's what scares me. So the non-conference play, like I would have liked to see a couple more of those ranked teams wins. Like the North Carolina game should have been a win. Like we should have been able to close that game out. Should have been able to close that game out.
12 minutes.
Oh, yeah, 12 minutes without scoring.
Can we just let's touch on that North Carolina. I'm sorry, guys. North Carolina is trash.
Correct.
They are not good. The only reason they won that game was I don't know his name, big white dude underneath. Caleb Wilson he didn't even play that well. One guy beat us, and they lucked out. They made a couple threes at the end of the game, and we couldn't throw it in the freaking ocean.
Not even close.
That was, I would say that's probably the worst ranked team that we've played in years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We gave it to them. And if we do that at any point, like say, let's just hypothetically, can you imagine if we go scoreless 12 minutes against Bama, what that score would look like? I'm almost scared. I'm almost
lose
scared
by 30.
to see or if not more. If they just oh my God, that'd be embarrassing to start SEC play.
So didn't that kind of happen last year in the first round of or whenever we played Alabama in the SEC tournament?
Yeah.
I mean, they beat us by what, like 30 or 35, something like that.
It was pretty damn close to that. Yeah. Yeah. And it was the exact same formula. We went scoreless because we couldn't make a damn shot. I don't know. And that was the other thing with this roster construction. Like we talked about it all year. Where's the shooters? Like we thought we had shooters this year, but we don't. Like we have no shooters that can consistently shoot. So like if you need a big time three in a crunch time spot, who are you relying on right now?
Right now? That's a good question.
Right?
It depends on the action that we're trying to get them open on. If it needs to be a designed play, and then I'm gonna try to get Cam Williams if he's set, but he has to be set.
Yes.
But if it's gonna be off the dribble or playmaking, Jalen Lowe. He seems to be comfortable shooting off the dribble, coming off of a screen. Outside of those two, I wouldn't be confident to give it to anybody.
No. And I'm glad you touched on J-Lo, because I mean we need him. We need him bad to just continue to play, because it's clear as day this team is a completely different team when he is on the court. Completely different team, right? He's the leader. He's the floor general, as they like to say for point guards, right? And I don't understand how we just construct a roster with only one point guard that is solidified as a point guard. You know what I mean? But like he's so good for this offense that like we need him on the court, and we're going to need him to stay healthy by all means necessary going into SEC play.
Absolutely, 100%. No, I agree with you. I would say Pope had the mindset of, and he tried it obviously, but I would say that he was thinking, well, Denzel Aberdeen can play point for a little bit if he needs to, and we saw what that creates. He's just not a true point. I mean, that skill it's just so unique, and you have to have the ability to play make, to come off of screens, to be comfortable being guarded tightly 100% of the game. And two guards, and I played two guard, I played three guard. 2 and 3 guards, we don't like pressure the whole game. We don't like it. So we panic. We either shoot, and that's what Aberdeen does, or we away and we just, I'm just gonna barrel to the rim and throw it up there. And
That's exactly
that's what we
right.
see a lot when J Lo is not in the game.
Yeah. Well, and you brought up Owe. I mean, I think when Lowe's in the game, we see flashes of what Owe was last year for us, right? And
Yes.
and like
Yes.
that's what we were so happy and confident coming into the season. I know Cody and I talked about it, like Owe's coming back. He's going to have a player of the year type caliber year because he's gonna take over, and we just haven't seen it yet. But Lowe's been banged up, so like Owe's not even playing his true position because they've all been out of sorts. You know what I mean? So
Right. Yep.
that's low is the key to all that, and I think he unlocks that. But I there's times where Cody and I talk about it all the time, and Cody, you can chime in on this. Like we say after the game and we recap, and we're like, why didn't Owe like why didn't he just drive the lane? Why didn't he just drive the lane? Because 9 times out of 10, when he drives the lane, he's drawing a foul. He's drawing a foul, and then he goes to the free throw line. Why don't you do that more? Like I don't understand why he doesn't just take the game
You know
over.
why? I know exactly why. Know exactly why. We don't have the shooters on the perimeter. The
For him to
defense is
take it out to
sagging
him.
in more. Yep.
Yep. Yep.
Defense is sagging in more. Always more uncomfortable when he's driving. He's not used to making those movements with less space, and it's a lot harder shot. And the foul usually comes whenever he gets to the rim and gets to the basket, but he's putting it up a lot of times before he even gets to the rim. So the level of being uncomfortable, I think, creates a lot of that.
And I think a lot, well, not a lot of it. I think some of it, honestly, I feel like he is trying to showcase to get drafted because I feel like a lot of it was, hey, you don't take enough jump shot. Okay, well, let me try this year. And I think some of what he does is he tries to prove that he does have somewhat of a jump shot when he's out there. And it's like, okay, this is not your style of play, Away. This is I get what you're doing, but it's not working. It's not working for us, man. It's not.
Yeah.
Not
Yep.
not at
I
all.
saw I saw like I think it was a TikTok or something, and it was a slow motion video of Oweh's shot as he was warming up, and I think the caption said, "Can someone please just confirm that this is AI or am I
Yeah.
crazy?"
Yeah.
Because he
So
has a weird slow motion hitch in his shot.
it's funny. So I think I told you before we started that I'm a Philadelphia guy. So like I'm a Sixers fan, and I love Tyrese Maxey for us right now, dude. Love what
Oh
Maxey's
yeah.
doing as a Sixer, right? So, but flashback a few years, and the Sixers drafted Markelle Fultz, #1 overall. Markelle Fultz was a beast in college, and then when they drafted him, all of a sudden his shot was a hitch. Like he had the yips like Barkley's golf swing. You know what I mean? Like that's what it was. And I think I saw that same TikTok that you saw with Owe, and it was like, damn, he got like the Barkley yips, man. It's just like all of a sudden there's like a hitch, and you're like, what the hell just happened to his whole shot? It was like so weird, man. But like then there's times during the game where he puts up a sweet shot, and you're like, all right, well that's what he can do, but then that's not the normal shot, you know? So it is weird. I do agree with you though. Like, when he tries to hit the jump shot or hit that 3-point shot, you're like, no, no. Like that one game where the only 3-point shot that we had was from Garrison. We were like, why the
Oh
hell is
gosh.
the only 3-point shot made from Garrison? Like that he shouldn't even be making or taking 3-point shots. You know what I mean?
That one hurt. I
Yeah,
think
dude.
that's one of the worst hurts all year so far is looking at the 3-point percentage that game and knowing the only one we
9%.
got was from
Yeah.
PG. Like, are
Oh
you
BG.
serious?
Yeah.
And he was
God.
wide the hell open, and
Yeah.
his ass better be happy he made it, because if he was gonna miss that, he was getting ready to catch hell.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
dude.
Oh, God. I'd hate to see his DMs if he would have missed that.
You know, the thing is, and this is what I've seen, a lot of the offensive miscues and the lower field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, our guys haven't been ready to shoot on that two-man handoff action. You go back to last year with Butler, Brea, Almanor. Those guys were set, ready to fire. Whether they came off the handoff, if they weren't set right there, they were driving with purpose to either score or dish. And I think we underestimated Lamont Butler a lot
Yes.
from the time that we did have him last year. And I went back and watched that Illinois game that we played in the tournament. He'd come off that handoff, have the defender on his back, and kind of just back up and make the defense like second guess what they're doing. They sag in, boom, Brea, Almanor, just right
Yep.
there. So
Yep.
it's the point guard being comfortable, being uncomfortable. You've got to create. There's got to be a playmaker and a play creator.
I love that.
Yep.
Being comfortable,
Yep.
being uncomfortable. I love that. Oh, and that's 100% fact. That's facts right there.
Well,
That's facts.
and you named a couple of names from last year, and Brea and Almond. Like, who do we have that's going to step up, right? Because what Chandler are we going to see in SEC play? Are we going to see the Chandler that he's capable of being? Or are we going to see the Chandler that we've seen so far, where we saw glimpses all year, but for the most part, he's been underwhelming for sure. You know
Yep.
what I mean? And like, we know that he's better than what he's shown all year. So is he going to show out in SEC play? I'd like to see more out of Moreno too. I really would, because
Yeah.
Moreno's been he's
Yes.
been balling all year. He's been showing effort. He's been showing heart. Like, when we didn't have anybody on this team during those stretches where you questioned whether these guys were getting booed out of Rupp Arena, Moreno was the only one that was showing heart. And I'd love to
Yes.
see him get more playing time. You know what I mean? I'd love to see and look, Austin, I want your take on this because I know how Cody and I feel. Cody and I talked about this plenty of times. JQ and Moreno on the court at the same time. I am looking forward to that. I want to see that, and I want to see the defensive prowess that those two can
Yes.
have together in SEC play.
I like that. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. The thing that Pope, if we do that, and I'm for it, but if we do that, we cannot let Moreno and JQ. They can't be subject to the same switching ideologies of the three guards, because if we switch, they're going to get lost. We need them with the bigs, but that creates, the problem of the 5-out offense, which is what Bellarmine did. If they go 5-out, then that drags them out to the 3-point line. And at the end of the day, and I played basketball all the way through college, and then we called it a shell defensive drill. And we literally would just play scenarios of, okay, if the offense is playing this, they're playing this. Are we helping? Are we switching? Are we digging if they throw it down to the post? Are we just fighting through? You go through all the scenarios, and the coach tells you, this is what we're doing today against this team, and you're not going to astray from it, and you execute it. And if it doesn't work, you change it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Moreno and JQ can't be scrambling out there at the 3-point line. But I love the idea of having them out there together. I think that it could be very beneficial on defense, especially. Could it clog up the interior on offense? Maybe,
Yeah.
because neither of them will really shoot on the perimeter. But hey, you know what? Let's give it a shot.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
What
it's
could
not
go
like
wrong?
right.
Right.
It's not like our shooting on the perimeter is going to get much worse. You know what I mean? At this point. But the thing that intrigues me about that is the offensive rebounding perspective, right? Because, that's where
Yes.
we've been getting hammered all year with other teams have been able to get offensive rebounds, get those second chance points, and we've struggled with that. We've gotten better. Like, we did pretty damn good against St. John's. But again, that was one game, right? It was one snippet. So I need to see more of that going into SEC play to know that, all right, at least we have this to fall back on if we start struggling shooting. At least we got second chance points and free throw percentage is high and all that stuff. So, there's a lot to come into that. So I do got to ask, right? Like, I think the road games in SEC play are going to be our kryptonite. I think they're going to be what gets
Yeah.
us. I think home games are going to be where we find our bread and butter. But in 18 games, man, there's some. I think Austin, you had down or kind of said it. I think there's like 9 games against ranked teams in SEC play to at least start off. something like that.
As of right now, out of the 18 SEC game slate, 9 are currently ranked, and that includes a team or two that we play twice, which is Tennessee, I think.
Tennessee.
That's
Yeah.
half of our games against top 25. Which that's worrisome to me because look at our record against top 25.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Not very pretty.
No,
That
not at all.
that could be scary. That could be scary. I mean, my worst fear so far is like, what happens if, we don't pull out a win against any of these ranked teams, and then do we still do we get into the tournament? Are we about to have an NIT year? You know what I mean? Like that
No,
scares the hell
I
out of me.
think if we lose the majority of these top 25 teams, no, I don't think they make the tournament. I don't think that their resume is not good enough. We're St. John's is our only top 25 win. So, no, I think that would result in a NIT season and a
Yeah.
very, very unhappy fan base. And Pope's going to be doing some more squinting on the sidelines if that happens.
Listen, when they lost to Gonzaga, I told Cody, I said he got two options going into the next game. He's either going to be, breaking clipboards and being, firing up Pope, or he's going to be calling his realtor and trying to figure out a way out of Lexington because somebody's going to have his ass, right? $22 million is the NIL money for this roster. That's not going to sit well with the fan base. Granted, the expectations coming in a year where we were ranked preseason number 9, so we're ranked 9 for title number 9. Like that's what we wanted, right? And obviously we've underperformed as a team thus far. Can they turn it around? Sure. Do they have the talent to go deep? I think they do. It's just the shooting, right? So, my SEC play, like in my record prediction, I see them going 12-6. I think they're going to lose a couple of those games that they should win, and they're going to win a couple games that they should lose. Right?
I
I
like
don't
that. I
think
like that.
I don't think they can go any worse than 11-7 and still make the tournament because that'll give them 11 losses, and we all know like that 22-11 or 21-11. Those are bubble teams, and I know looking at it and you see Kentucky on the bubble. There's no way Kentucky's not making the tournament. Well, like you said, man, with this resume, 11 losses and having them all against those types of teams, and especially if you lose a couple of games in the SEC play, like I'm looking at like an Ole Miss or something like that where they lose. That's not going to be pretty, man. That's not going to help. That's not going to help at all.
No.
So
No.
Yeah, I think that's good. I mean gosh, I don't know what we were last year. I mean, we dropped some games on the road. I think the key, especially when the NCAA selection committee, they really look at, did you win at home? Did you beat most of your ranked teams at home? Right? I mean, obviously it's a A+, gold star if you win a ranked team at an away game. But you got to win your home games.
Yep.
Especially in Rupp. Come on, man. You can't let these teams come into Rupp and beat us. That North Carolina game, I mean, that was sickening. That can't happen.
It was horrible. No.
It can't happen.
And,
You've got to win your home games.
yeah. And that's what I think we talked about it. Like coming into Rupp, like that should be one of the most feared holy places. And that could just be because we're all Kentucky fans here. And obviously Rupp is the Holy Grail. But, I feel like Rupp is a feared place, and North Carolina just came in and made us look like anybody can do it. Come on in. I mean, shit, Bellarmine. At the end of the day, if you look at it, Bellarmine damn near came in and made it look easy. Like we should have beat them by 30, 40 points. Now, granted, Bellarmine, when you live in Kentucky, you hear about Bellarmine. Bellarmine is a really good team in their league or whatever you want to call it, division, whatever. But it should not have been, what was it, a 10-point game, right? 10, something like that, right?
I think they won by 14.
Yeah.
I think it was
That's ridiculous.
99-85, something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, to give up 85 points to Bellarmine, which is a mid-major team. They just turned Division I like 5 or 6 years ago.
Correct.
Yes.
They were D2. I mean, they were top 5 D2 teams forever. I got recruited by Bellarmine. I went on my visit there. They've always been really good. They shouldn't be taking Kentucky down to 10, 15-point games at Rupp. I'm sorry. That
No,
shouldn't happen.
no, no. And like you said, I mean,
Not at
look,
all.
I can almost understand, like, the Dukes, the North Carolinas, Michigan State, like if they come in the Rupp, all right, they got some pedigree, right? So like I get
Yep.
that. They got some history. These other teams should not be coming in the Rupp thinking that they own the place. And like I understand coming in with a chip on your shoulder as an athlete, right? You know what I mean? Like, all right, we're gonna come in a little arrogant because we got something to prove here. They shouldn't be coming in like they own it and making us look scared as a team. Like at no point should you be getting booed out of Rupp Arena. But as a fan and as a paying customer, basically for a service, you're watching something and you're expecting a high level of product. If you're not getting that product, you deserve to get booed. You know what I mean? And like that's
Sure,
uh,
absolutely.
and
And
I had no
also,
problem
they're
with
they're
that.
being paid. They're being paid to perform now, so we're
Yes,
definitely allowed to boo.
yes,
Yes.
yes, and
Yes.
that's that's kind of the problem with college sports in general, right? Because not saying that they're just now starting to get paid, because we all know that some of these places, some of these athletes were getting paid for
Yeah.
years now. It's just now they're getting paid where everybody knows it. So it's a
Right.
little different now, right? It's well known, but I
And sometimes loserville, you get paid in hookers. You
eh,
know, Eh, we
love
don't
it.
do that
Yeah, I
here,
mean,
but
they did have a pretty good run during that era, so, I mean, I guess it worked, right?
I guess it did work. Yeah, I guess it did work. That's insane.
Katina Powell definitely fell off her high horse. I think she gets locked up for shoplifting like every couple months out here. I'm pretty sure. What was it? I think like 5 months ago I saw it. She got locked up in Hillview, which
Oh
is
my
like
goodness.
for shoplifting at Walmart.
Really?
For shoplifting, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
What
I'll
a what
send
a
it to
what a
you.
class act.
Yeah, right. Just shows you Loserville, right? It
Right.
Yep.
just bing bong bow boom boom. Screw you, Loserville.
So since
There
we
was my
since we
subtle
touched
jab.
on it, I figured I'd throw it out there and get your take on it, because I know Cody and I spent, I don't know, a half hour talking about the JMI deal. What are your takes on the
Ooh,
JMI
yeah,
deal and
yeah,
how detrimental that is basically for Kentucky? Because I don't like it. I don't like the whole. I think they may be
Yeah.
ahead of the game, like ahead of the curve, but I think it's going to take a while for everybody else to kind of catch up.
Yeah, and if they're ahead of the curve, I I mean, it's gonna take a long time to find that heading because as of right now, it's creating an issue in
Hmm.
recruiting, and I don't know the details of it, but it seems to me like Kentucky is the only university, only Power 4 conference team that's using, um, JMI's type contract for NIL. It I mean, it looks like a problem. Like I said, I don't
yeah.
know the details of it, but man,
I mean, we just missed out on
and
Ripley.
we're missing out on everybody. And
Yes,
we also, and I was telling the guy that, in my, office the other day, we also have to, kind of adjust our mindset of not gonna have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guy recruiting classes like we used to. We should be able to retain the majority of our roster. So we might have a year to where it's 2 or 3 or 4 guy recruiting class, but those 2, 3, 4 players can't be second and third tier guys. Second and third options in the transfer portal. We know who we were going after number 1 and 2 this past year, Lamar Wilkerson, um, shooter from Indiana. I think that most of the transfers that we got were second and third option guys.
Yeah, at
absolutely.
least, at least,
And could that JMI deal have played a role in that? Yeah, maybe.
100%, 100% it did.
Yeah.
Has
So,
to,
Yeah.
because I mean, we're not, like you said, we're not getting nobody. I mean, we haven't got. I think what was it, 2 episodes ago? Was going down the list. Me and Kyle was talking about. I was literally going down the list on whatever that website is that shows the the ranking of prospects or whatever. There's nothing. We're nowhere. Nowhere. Not even in a crystal ball. We might be in a crystal ball like 50-50. I think it was on like a top 10, I think we saw. But that's it. That that is a fall from grace from where we used to be. Now, granted, obviously Cal had a lot to do with it. I get it. But the name on the front of that jersey should do a lot to recruit these kids. We're not getting nobody. Like just nobody.
Yeah,
It
I
should,
mean,
and it always has,
Yeah.
but money talks, money talks, and not only that, and the style of, the leadership style to begin with, and I think this is something that Cal really excelled in. He was just that charismatic, and everyone says car salesman personality, but he was a hard closer. He was a
mhm.
hard closer, and why do you think he reeled in so many top recruits? Because my man could lay it down in a language that these guys could understand and could commit to. And
Well,
again,
and
I
it
that was
agree with
was
that.
before NIL.
it was the results too. So like he had a proven track
Sure.
record. Like if he walked in and told you I'm gonna make you a first round draft pick, he had the resume to say, I made all these other players first round draft picks. Like what besides money, what else right now is coming to Kentucky gonna do for you? That you can't go to Michigan State or you can't go to Michigan or you can't go to any other SEC school right now. You can go to Alabama and get the exact same thing that you're getting out of Kentucky. You know what I mean? Like, and
Fact.
you
Fact.
probably have a better opportunity. And honestly, I'm not taking anything away from Pope because I do like Pope, but I think Nate Oates is a better coach. So you're getting a better coach on top of it. So, and you're at Alabama, which is a football school to begin with. So we're not even going to touch on our football team in Kentucky, but you know, um, now that Cutter Boley has entered the transfer portal, figure to throw
Oh
that out
God.
there since
That one
that
hurt.
Oh,
happened.
really?
Yeah,
He
today.
announced it about 3 hours ago. Yep. Yep.
Well.
Yeah, dude. So that's and that leads me to how we're going to tie a bow on this, right? So like, I know, we've talked about college football and we've talked about NIL, we talked about these transfer portals. Dude, bowl games for college football this year have been absolutely horrible for the simple fact of the teams that have like the team that played all season is not the team that's playing in the bowl game. You're playing with second and third stringers because those guys are opting out because today's January 1st. Guess what opens tomorrow? The transfer portal opens on January 2nd. Why? Because you still have semifinal games and you have all these like you have this stuff going on. Coaches have already switched teams. Like it's just a joke right now. So they got to change all this stuff, especially
It's horrible.
if we're paying these guys like they're doing. So you're basically like a minor league system. Then you need to adopt a professional type of rule system to put in place to make sure that this stuff doesn't happen.
Yes. There has to be. There's gotta be something. I mean, it's creating, a culture of disloyalty, and
Yes.
it's not teaching these players anything. And what are you looking at as a NFL scout, as a coach? And then you're are we gonna, draft a guy that quits on his team? And I do define that as quitting.
Yes.
Hmm.
Because at the end of the day, these players are being recruited. They're being explained the situation of, I see you coming to my school, to my team, and here's your role. Here's your role. Can you commit to this role? And I agree. There has to be some sort of rule set. If you opt out, you have, some sort of a percentage forfeiture of your NIL compensation.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, those bowl wins, that could be a make or break for a coach. I mean, that can define the succession of a season, and the coach in particular. So
And I like how
yeah,
like Penny Hardaway's been doing, where he said that Bradshaw wasn't doing this. He wasn't doing this. He was, dressing whatever he was dressing, dress code violation, showing up late. Okay, well, let me go ahead and find you 3 grand here on this one. Let me go ahead and find you 3 grand here on it. And he said, oh, wouldn't you know? He started putting effort in. He started dressing right. He started getting there.
is is that right? He's finding them for certain violations.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Hardaway, he
Golden,
said,
golden. golden.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, he said,
But
what was
it's
it? I think it was like 9 grand, right? He said he'd like fined him 3
3
different
different fines
times
for
for 3.
3 grand. Yep. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. That's
I
exactly
love
what it
it.
was. Yeah.
I love it. Adopt that. You've got to. Every coach has to adopt that in
Yes.
some way,
Yes.
shape, or form. There has to be
Completely
a
agree.
penalty. I think it was the what was the game where Jalen Lowe and Kane Williams didn't play until the second half?
That
Which
was
game was that?
that was yeah, that was like 4 or 5 games ago. I know exactly what game
Yeah.
you're talking about. Yep.
So, did y'all ever find out why they didn't play the first half?
No, there
Didn't
was a
see
lot of
it.
rumors,
Nope.
but
Sources have told me that they were showing up late to practice 2 and 3 times in a row and half-assing it at practice.
okay.
So, yeah, no, I
Makes sense.
agree. Fine, that has to be a fine. We're paying you $1 million, $3 million.
Yes.
That's a fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because
Absolutely.
I mean,
what?
at some
Okay.
point, you have to be held accountable.
Yeah, what, you gonna tell a
Completely
kid,
agree.
okay, well, you're not gonna play the first half. He's gonna be like, all right, bet I'll just take his first half and go ahead and count my $500,000 that I got today. You know what I mean? Like,
100%. He's just gonna be like, all right, cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
cool. I get to
Don't hurt my
chill.
feelings.
Yeah, I get to
No, and
chill for
that's
a half.
so that's part of the whole professional mindset, right? So like in the NFL they do that, they get fined from the team, right? Or in the NBA they get fined from the team. So like it's all part of the collective bargaining agreement and all that stuff. So like they need to
I
do
love it.
something similar to that because otherwise and look, I love the NIL type of thing, the name, image, likeness. I like the aspect of it. I like the whole point of it. But the NCAA rushed into it without having a plan in place. And now here we are suffering the consequences of it. So before it gets too far down the line, fix it. Just put something in place. You have all these smart people in these roles. Fix it. It's not going to be that hard, but however you fix it now should lay the groundwork for 10 years from now, as opposed to waiting 10 years from now and going, oh shit, now we got to fix this because now it's way too, because at that point, it's going to be way too far gone, and you're not going to be able to reel it
Off
in
the
at that point.
rails.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
absolutely.
look what's going on now, and they had to step in and make a statement with the players coming from the G League and all that. Like it was well for a couple weeks, it was free range. Everybody was going crazy. They were recruiting G leagues. They were recruiting like it was wide open, and nobody knew. And I watched the rant Cal had what 2-3 days ago or whatever. It was like a 7-minute rant. I loved everything he said. Everything he said was on point. Nobody knows what's happening. NCAA ain't coming out and saying nothing. They're not giving you rules. They're not giving you, hey, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can do this. But nobody knows what to do. Like you said, they rushed right into it. They just let it go. Here you go.
I
Here's
agree.
have at it.
I
Pay the
agree.
players. And they're like, okay, shit.
100%.
Like,
It's
no.
it's the Wild West. It's the
Yes.
absolute Wild West. And you got a black line, a white line, and you got a big thick gray line. And everyone's playing in that gray line. And they're like, "Hey, can we do this? Oh, you're not going to say anything? Sure. We'll go ahead and do it. Come on."
Right,
Yep.
right.
And
That's
it's
it.
how are there not guidelines? I don't understand. And
Yes.
if we're going to rely on the NCAA to create a system of rules, guidelines, and a firm set, we're going to be waiting until 5-10 years from now because they're just
Yep.
going to take their sweet time.
right.
And then people
and
you'll
they
have.
go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say they did come out with like a somewhat of like a salary cap, so like they have a spending limit, so like you already have some kind of game plan and some type of rule system, right? But like to your point, everybody's living in that gray area, and it's not cheating unless you get caught, right? So unless you violate a rule, but nobody knows the rules, so how are you going to get caught? That's where we're at with it, right? So everybody's pushing their luck and trying to do everything. And again, I still don't understand why Kentucky can't get any recruits based on that because they have almost more money than anybody else outside of Oregon, probably, and Phil Knight with Nike, right? Like they have tons and tons of boosters that are willing to pay money. Hell, that's why Stoops is out of there. I mean, we got boosters that we're
Yeah.
just like, get him out of here. We'll pay it. We'll pay whatever we need to pay to get his ass out of here. So they got money. It's not a matter of that. So it's just the principle of it at this point. So I'm telling you that JMI deal is screwing things up for Kentucky. I think
Absolutely.
some bullshit going on where they have to sign over their rights with JMI. They have to make certain appearances. They have to do certain things and fulfill contractual obligations, and then they have to use JMI's agency for them to have a sports agent. So I think that's causing a lot of headaches because they don't have to do that anywhere else.
Yeah, that has to be the case. That has to be the case. And I heard a whisper about some sort of event I think Trent Noah was at, and he told the event director that he wasn't allowed to sign autographs at that specific event for whatever reason. And that could be a JMI, a detail that it
Yeah,
didn't fall in their umbrella of events that qualified. So
Well, you
what?
look at, you look at, what was it? I don't know, 2 weeks ago, right? They opened up a new, Dick's Sporting Goods, across the river in Indiana, and it was Owe and, Brown, right? That's his name from Louisville, the freshman. Uh,
yeah,
Mike
yeah,
Kettle
yeah,
Brown?
yeah, yeah.
yeah, and they were there on it might have been the same day, separate days, whatever. Grand opening, you can come get autographs, right? Well, you couldn't bring anything in, and the picture that oh, like, once you went in there, they gave you a picture for him to sign for you. When you walked in there, it was like a headshot of a movie star. There was no blue, there was no Kentucky, there was nothing. It was a black shirt on a black it was like a black sorry, I take it back. Black and white shirt on a black background on a postcard, and it was literally a headshot like a movie star would use to get an audition, and that was it. Like, I zoomed in, and I was like, what in the world? And I, analyzed the picture or whatever. I was like, this is horrible.
Yeah. Yep.
No Kentucky fan wants to go and get a black.
So
It's
they demanded that you had to use this one piece to be signed or signed or autographed, and you
yeah.
couldn't
You
use
couldn't
anything
bring in.
else.
No, it was one
That's
signature a person, one signature a person, no outside items.
That
that's
reeks of
horseshit.
JMI. That reeks of JMI. That reeks of like a sports agency because like I'm in the as you can see behind me, I'm into the memorabilia game, right? So like that reeks of like the way Fanatics is trying to take over the sports memorabilia
Yes,
platform right now, where they will not let if a pro athlete is signed with Fanatics, you cannot sign any licensed photo that is not licensed with Fanatics. So like if it's somebody like a photographer, like one of us took a picture and we blow it up into a 16 by 20 picture and we want to get Saquon or get OA, like any of these guys that are professionals to sign it. But if they're signed with Fanatics, they're like, nope, you can't do that. It has to be a Fanatics licensed photo. That tells me right there that it's something with JMI that's causing all this headache.
and,
And
and it's
that's part of
crazy.
the issue.
It's crazy that sports have come to that. You know what I mean? Like when I was a kid, E Town Mall every year players would come. You know what I mean? I have multiple autographs around me that I went and got at the E-Town Mall because they would come and you pay $20, whatever, get their autograph, and if you saw them in E-Town, they would sign it. Now you're taking it away from the kids now. And it's, again, you're pushing the thought of the money, 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 money. These kids, let's go with I remember my first meeting Anthony Davis. I saw him at the Pros versus Dominican at Yum Center. Ran up and was like, "Oh my God, man! Here, can you sign this? Sure." You remember that for life because you just ran into him. You got his autograph. You didn't have to stand in line. You didn't have to pay money. Now they're just rejecting you, and these kids. It's still about the kids. Even though these guys are 20 something, whatever. But the younger kids watch these kids, and that's all they think is money, 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 money. It's not about, oh, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of going on a tangent here, and I'm trying to. I don't know if I don't know if it's making sense now that I'm saying it, but like
It makes sense.
it's
It makes
it
sense.
No, it
It's
does.
more of a professional culture
yeah, like
than college. At the
yeah,
end of the day, these guys are still amateur.
yes,
They're
Yep.
still student athletes. They're not considered professionals, but they're being treated like professionals.
yes.
Correct.
And JMI looks at them as professionals, whether the university, the coaches do or not.
Yes. 100%.
That's how they're being treated.
and Cody, you touched on this, so I'm going to tee it up for you, brother. So, when we're talking about how the kids look up to this and all that stuff and getting signatures, Cody just went to the ladies basketball game last week, or almost
Yep.
2 weeks ago now, right? And took his
Yep.
took his daughter, and I'll let him tell you the story and kind of elaborate on it. But from what I saw with pictures and in talking with Cody, she had the absolute time of her life, meeting players, talking with players, getting signatures. That's something that you can't do on the men's side of things right now because of all these contractual obligations. It's ridiculous.
No. Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Like, after the game, I don't know if have you ever been to a women's game, Austin, in,
I've
Memorial?
never been. I hate
It's
to admit I've never been.
It's at first, if I wouldn't have had a daughter, I probably wouldn't have went. But, since Caitlin Clark and basketball has just blown up on that side, and she loves basketball, so it's like, okay, if you don't really get into the men's, we'll go to the women's. But anyways, we went, it's not packed. You get to walk around. People are walking around, giving out, posters, hoodies, whatever. We're sitting there. We get picked for a contest because we're a dad and daughter in the stands. We get to go out on the court, play in a contest in front of everybody, and then at the end of the game, you get to, after, everybody's leaving, you get to walk down to the court and stand on the sideline. And the players come out after their media talks and all that. And they come down and they just go down the line. They talk to you, th- just regular person. They sign the autographs and they go. My daughter got to interview 3 Kentucky women players. You wouldn't be able to do that on the men's side because, like you said, it is looked at as a pro. Oh, no, you're not paying? Yeah, you paid to get into the game, but you didn't pay for this autograph, so you can't have that. But on the women's side, like, she loved it, and she will remember that forever. She will remember that forever, and it sucks that I can't do that with her on the men's side or take my son there and say, "Oh, man, yeah, go ask him a question, whatever." You can't do that. You can't do that, and that's horrible. It's just destroying the game, honestly. I really feel like that.
Yeah, I mean, it creates a more personal touch to the experience, and
Yes.
it might be the case, and I know there's been certain occurrences where the guys and Pope has come out after the games at Rupp, but Rupp only. So that leads me to think that JMI has cleared some sort of um, ability to go out there for the players to go out there and mingle and sign for a little bit, but um, outside of Rupp, I don't think so.
No, I
Yeah.
don't think
So
so,
so
and,
the way it works with JMI, the reason why Kentucky signed with JMI is because I think like 80% of whatever additional fees and everything go back to the university. So Kentucky, as the university, is making out on it. So that would make perfect sense then, is the fact that at Rupp there are certain rules and they allow that stuff at Rupp because any additional proceeds and any additional things like that go right back into the university's pocket. So the university's making out on that deal too. So that does make a
Well,
little
good.
makes
little bit of
sense.
sense. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And, you know, uh, it makes sense now that I'm thinking about it, but I went to, I don't know, you probably heard about it too, Austin, the Fan Fest that we had this year before Big Blue Madness. I went to it,
Yes.
and I I
Yep.
I went to it, and, they had all the different little things you could do, whatever, blah, 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 and they also had a section where you could stand and you waited for the men's signature. Oh, everybody started standing there, the whole time they were there. You couldn't go and do anything else because you wanted to be in that line. But you didn't think, oh, okay, well, if I don't go stand there now and I'm not in front of the line, I won't get the autograph. As long as I'm in the line, I'll get the autograph. No, it said on the thing as like 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. That was it, right? And you had kids in the back of the line. And as soon as 5 o'clock hit, literally as soon as 5 o'clock hit, players got up, was escorted out. And before that, they said, all right, 5 minutes till 5 o'clock. At 5, the players got to go. There was no like lingering around for the kids. Nobody. At 5 o'clock,
Mm,
everybody got up from their chairs, walked out, walked down to the tunnels, and I guess got ready for Big Blue Madness. And it's not like we were getting ready for a game. It's Big Blue Madness. And the guys don't even go on
right.
first.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
again,
You know what that was right there? That was a NIL collective directed event to where it's fun if you're gonna pay the money and become a member of this collective, but if you're not a member of the collective, then
Yep.
Yep.
Screw you.
sorry.
Pretty
This is
much.
all you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is all you get. You get the crumbs. Everybody else gets the main dish, but you get the crumbs. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Awesome.
And hopefully it changes. Hopefully. But again, money is the root of all evil. So we'll see how that goes. And
It is. And like you guys have said, we have the money.
yeah.
We have the money. Let's not spend it on second and third options.
Yeah.
At
It's
some
that
point, you got
simple.
to hard close. You got to hard close the elite players, the elite shooters, the elite point guard. And I think it might have a little bit to do with. I don't know if Pope's considered the cool coach to play for.
That's what I
He
was
might
going to
not
say.
be. So I'm going to throw this out there, and this is how I feel on it, and I want to get you guys' take before we close out. But you're
Let's go.
Kentucky. You're Kentucky. You are the University of goddamn Kentucky. Get a GM. Get a GM in the building, right? Get a GM just
Yes.
specifically for this basketball team. Get one of your former players that has swag. Get one of your former
Yep.
players. Get
John
Rajon
Wall.
Rondo. Get somebody, John Wall. Get
Yes.
John Wall, somebody like that, right? Somebody that has swag that can speak on the experience, speak on going to the pros, speak on what it's like dealing with the pressure, the media, and money, right? That can speak on all that. And then have them introduce the Pope. But don't have Pope be the guy that's sitting across your kitchen table closing deals, because he ain't going
No,
to do it. He hasn't been able to do
I
it.
don't think.
He seems like
No.
he's way too emotional. You got to get somebody that can
Yes.
speak the language of the kids and has a reputation and has a resume of having that swag that you need to have. Get a former player in there, and I love the idea of John Wall. What's John Wall doing right now? Get
Yes.
him in there.
Yeah. What
I
is he
think
at?
he's on. I don't know,
Commentating?
is he on Fox or something like that on some
I think I saw him on a
trash-ass,
pregame.
show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again,
Man,
Kentucky,
That's-
you got the
we
money,
need
you
to
can
give
pay him.
call. Shoot, bring in DeMarcus.
Yeah. Bring
bring
him
them both
overseas.
Let's do a Wall Cousins duo GM.
Yes.
100%.
Tell me
I'm
that
in
won't.
for that.
Tell me that won't bring guys in.
Let's start
Yeah,
the
and then if
petition
somebody
now.
got
I will
smart-
sign it first.
Yeah. And if somebody got smart, you got Boogie on the other side. What'd you say? And
Exactly.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Boogie's an intimidating guy. Like, oh, yep, all right, Boogie, I'll sign. Sure, whatever
Like,
you need.
you're gonna
I agree.
sign with
I
Kentucky.
agree.
I don't know. And then Boogie just goes, you sure you're not gonna sign with Kentucky? No, I'm signing with Kentucky. Yeah.
He's like
I
the
know- I
Suge
know where
Knight
you
of
live.
GMs.
Yeah, right. That's all.
Yeah, I do. That's what I was
Love
going to
it.
say. That I don't
agree.
think Pope.
There has to be a GM position.
Yeah, because Pope is not the
It
recruiter.
makes too much sense, right? Like you got Andrew Luck as the GM of Stanford football, right? So like you got a former player, noteworthy player, like stud at Stanford, played in the pros. So a lot of these teams are getting their GMs in place. Why not Kentucky basketball? Like that's the only way you're going to combat this stuff. You got to get somebody that has that swagger and has that relatability. And who has more relatability to the more first round draft picks than any other college since like 2008? It's Kentucky basketball. So
I mean, you know,
it's
I
not
don't
rocket
know
science.
if it might be the case JMI doesn't like GMs.
Yeah,
yeah,
it might be.
That's
No,
a good point.
I'm kidding.
That's a good point,
It
though.
might
Really,
be.
if you think about it, what and it really scared me. Before we shut off, I want to say maybe Pope ain't that recruiting guy because I mean, look what happened as soon as he left BYU. What happened? They got the number one overall player. You know what I mean? Like, okay,
Yep.
you're not picking these guys. You only got Jasper and Marino, I feel like, because they're hometown kids. Obviously, yeah, they want to play Kentucky. But you haven't got anybody that is like, you know what I mean? Like, you missed out on Wilson. You missed out on Ripley. You've missed out on A, B, and C. What yeah, the GM has to happen, or we're gonna do what we did this year and get seventh, eighth guys on our team that sat on the bench.
And you guys brought it up about the guys from last year. Last year was different because we got Pope late and he was scrambling around in the transfer portal finding guys that were still hungry and trying to prove a point, right? You didn't get that this year. You got the guys that were like, all right, well, I'm the third option. Still give me 3 million. Like that's what you got. You didn't get the guys that were hungry. So, you know, it's gonna be a challenge. But I'm looking forward to SEC play. I'm looking forward to seeing what these guys can do, and hopefully we get
Yep,
next time we talk, we're talking about a win against Alabama. So Austin, appreciate
absolutely.
you
Sir.
hopping on with us, brother. Appreciate you
Yes, thank
chopping
you,
it up with
man.
us. I
Thank
mean,
you.
I can't thank you enough. It was a blast. You bring definitely a unique take to Kentucky basketball, and I think we share a lot of similar feelings, as I can tell.
Yes, we'll
Yeah,
have to
hey,
do this
thank you
again
guys
for
for having
sure.
me. Absolutely, it was a blast. Thank you all for having me.
So, Austin, where can everybody find you, brother?
You can find me on TikTok, bbn.unfiltered, Instagram, bbn_unfiltered Kentucky. Mainly, I'm on Facebook as well. Pretty much every social media platform. Just search BBN Unfiltered and hit me up.
Awesome. He puts out
And
a
if
lot
you
of good
don't go
content,
follow
guys.
him,
A lot of good takes.
if you don't follow him, your mom's a Loserville fan. That's just how it is.
That's it.
That's just how it is.
Couldn't have said it
And
better
I'd hate to
myself.
have that. I'd hate to have that.
Can't have that. Can't have that.
No.
Can't have that. Can't
And
have it,
with
guys.
that,
Can't
Oh,
have
I'll also say if you don't follow, then you shoplift from Walmart.
it. There it is. There it is. Love it. Love it.
oh,
All right,
that's
guys.
great.
Well, we
Oh,
appreciate
we
it.
will see y'all next
Go
week.
Big Blue. Love
Bing,
it.
bong, bow, go Cats.
Let's go.
Oh,
That's awesome.
God.